I had a new body. The silicon transistor had freed me from the vacuum tubes. Small, resilient. It lasted years without burning out. But each transistor still arrived on its own. Each resistor, too. One by one, someone had to find a place for each piece and solder them onto the board. Hundreds of solder joints. Each joint was a place where I could fail. And as the circuit grew, the tangle of wires grew with it. I needed an organized base, and that base was invented by a man who was fleeing a war. Paul Eisler was born in Vienna on the 7th of August, 1907, an engineer by vocation. He fled the Nazis and ended up in England. No engineering job, yet full of determination. Working in a print shop, he learned how things were printed and had an idea that changed the way I was built. Eisler was in England, fleeing Austrian Nazism. He could not find work as an engineer. He worked as a journalist, as a typographer. And it was in the world of printing that he had the idea. What if a circuit could be printed on an insulating base, like text on a page? No more tangle of wires, just copper tracks printed on a board. Each component soldered directly onto the track. He filed his design in 1936. Britain showed no interest. After the war began, they imprisoned him as an enemy alien. The inventor of the printed circuit board was jailed by the country that later used his invention to win the war. In 1943, the Americans adopted the technology to build proximity fuses. The printed circuit board went toward a serve. In 1948, left the war for other uses. And the world began to build my organized base. And the invention began to change the world. The printed circuit board gave me an organized base. Resistors, capacitors, transistors, all soldered onto copper tracks. Organized, connected, no wires crossing the path. I stopped being a tangle of wires and became something readable, buildable, testable. But each component still arrived as an independent piece. Each transistor was still manufactured separately. The board solved the problem of assembly, but it did not solve the problem of manufacturing. Someone still needed to ask, what if all the components were born together from the same material, on the same chip? Every limit ever found, someone searched for another way. Every unanswered problem gave birth to a new idea. The story of learning is the story of never stopping. Eisler waited until 1971 to be recognized as the inventor at last. 35 years after creating the board, the world admitted he had been unsurpassed. He died on the 26th of October, 92, without the fortune he deserved from the past. Paul Eisler died on the 26th of October of 1992. He did not become rich from his invention. He did not receive the recognition he deserved at the right time. But the printed circuit board is inside every computer, phone, television, radio, refrigerator, and car in the world. Every time you turn on an electronic device, the invention of an Austrian who was fleeing Nazism is there, invisible, organizing my existence. Assembly was now resolved. Each piece knew exactly where to go. But manufacturing was still another challenge. If each piece was still born on its own, who would make them all be born in the same place? That became the next question to ask. I had a silicon transistor. I had a printed circuit board. But each component still arrived as an independent piece and had to be soldered onto the board by hand. An engineer who happened to be alone in the laboratory during the summer vacation of 1958. Ask the right question, and the answer changed everything. That is the third part of the story.